welcome to my channel. So my name is Nontobego Taba. So before I start with today's video, I just want to say thank you to everyone who watched my first video. Thank you to everyone who liked. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. That meant a lot to me, and I'm so grateful to God that you were encouraged by that message. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing the love. In today's video, guys, I want to talk about 5 books that I have thoroughly enjoyed. 5 books that I really love that I'd like to recommend to you. We have about 6 months left in the year, and so I thought maybe let me share these books with you, and maybe some of us haven't met our reading goals, and maybe we could pick up one of these books and read them before the year ends. And these are just some of the books that I really love, but there are other books that I really love. But in today's video, I just want to talk about these 5. All right. So the first book that I want to talk about is a book called The 5 a.m. Club. So I don't have the book with me today because I've lent it out to a friend, but I'll put a picture up here of the book. The 5 a.m. Club, guys, is written by Robin Sharma. So this book is all about revolutionizing your morning, taking control of your morning, and how when you take control of your morning, it will even help you to be productive for the rest of the day. So in this book, Robin talks about this whole revolutionizing your morning, and he does it through a story, but also backs it up with scientific facts. And at the end, he's also very practical. So I really thoroughly enjoyed this book. I was challenged by this book, and I have been trying to implement all that he says in this book, taking over my morning and ensuring that my morning is at its top so that I can be productive throughout the day. So this is a really good book for you to read. The second book that I'd like to recommend is called Becoming. And this is a book that I read on Audible, and I will put a picture up here of that book. I read this book on Audible. It was about 19 hours long to read it. And guys, this was my first experience with a memoir. So I had never read a memoir before. But in this book, Michelle Obama, who is the first Black First Lady in the United States, talks about her life. She shares from the beginning, from the time she was born, where she was born, and she takes us through to college, and she takes us up to her career and up to meeting President Barack Obama, and she talks about their life in the White House. So this book is very inspirational, very motivational, because in this book, through her life, she pinpoints and shares with us experiences that have shaped her, the things that have turned her into the woman that she is, and how she is still becoming. And so it's a really motivational book, a very good inspirational book for you to read. It will also help you to get some insights into the United States politics, and also just about life in the White House and how she made her mark as a first in almost everything that she has done. So I totally recommend that if you'd like to read somebody's memoir, Michelle Obama's book is one of those books that I would recommend. Then guys, the third book that I want to recommend to you is You and Me Forever. So guys, I love this book, and this book means a lot to me because my husband and I, we read this book early on in our marriage, and this book changed the way that we view marriage. It says, You and Me Forever, Marriage in Light of Eternity. And as I was thinking about this book, I was just reminded that I need to read this book again. It talks about marriage in light of eternity. It's written by Francis and Lisa Chan. So if you know Francis is very missional. Francis Chan is a pastor who has a mind for missions, who has a mind for drawing people to Christ. And some people even may call him radical. He lives out the Bible. And so Francis in this book really breaks down some myths, guys. He breaks down the myth that marriage is the greatest thing in the world. He breaks it down in such a way that he makes you focus and realize marriage is all about eternity. It's about bringing glory to God, and marriage is not even about us. He talks about how we sometimes focus too much on each other as spouses because we are not focusing on God, who should be the center of our marriage. And I just thought I should read a little passage that's in this book. It's in the introduction, and he says, Even now, I am working to make sure that my family is set up for the future. When most people make that statement, they are talking about financial security for their last few years on earth. When I say it, I'm referring to the millions of years that come after that. People accuse me of going overboard in preparing for my first 10 million years in eternity. In my opinion, people go overboard in worrying about their last 10 years on earth. So guys, he's all about focusing on eternity, looking at our marriages and looking at them through the light of eternity. So really, this is a book that I recommend for any couple, young or old, anybody who's looking to be married. This book will help shape how you view marriage and how God actually sees marriage. So this is an awesome book to go out there and get. And then I also want to share another book that talks a little bit, doesn't talk about marriage per se, but it talks to women. This is called Uniquely Woman. This book is written by 3 older women. And in this book, these women are older, almost putting in action the principle that's in Titus, that the older woman should teach the younger woman how to take care of their husbands and how to take care of their homes. So in this book, we find these 3 women sharing their experiences, looking back on their lives and sharing the experiences, the things that they learned and the things that they wish they had not done whilst they were younger or earlier on in their marriages. So I have found this book to be very grounding. I normally go back to this book when I found that I'm lost in my marriage or struggling with my parenthood and just struggling to find what really matters. And this book brings me back to the things that really matter in marriage, the things that really matter even in parenting. In this book, they share about intentionality. That's one of the things that I came out with the most from this book, that we have to be intentional in the way that we create a conducive environment in our homes, intentional in the way that we are towards our husbands, and intentional in our parenting and teaching our children about God. So this is a book that I recommend for all women to go out and to get. It's a very, very grounding book that is very, very important. And it just brings us back to the basic principles of womanhood. The last book that I want to share is called She Is Still There. And I'll leave a picture up here because I read this book on Audible and I read it recently now during the lockdown. And this book spoke volumes to me, guys. As the title says, it says she is still there. That girl that you may have given up on, that girl that had these big dreams, that girl that wanted to do wonderful things for God and you have lost her somewhere along the way, she is still there. That's what this book is all about. It's about finding that girl and helping that girl come out. It's about doing the work that is needed in order to find that girl and in order to discover your gifts and your talents. I really love this book. It came at a time when I really, really needed it because I have often found myself extremely lost, unsure how I got where I am, unsure who I am, unsure what I should be doing. So this book really, really encouraged me. It's written by Crystal Evans Hurst. Crystal Evans is the sister to Priscilla Shirer, and Crystal Evans Hurst is a daughter to a pastor, and in her life she's made some mistakes. She talks about getting pregnant at the age of 19 and how she was lost after that and how she's been rediscovering herself ever since, and her life is all about finding herself again and going after the things that push her, the things that she really, really loves. So it's a really good book for someone who feels lost or someone who has felt lost before. It will really push you to find yourself again, and it takes you back to God, and God being the person that we should actually be seeking more than anything else. So guys, those are my recommendations for today. And if you liked any of these books, or if you've read any of these books, please comment down below, or please can you share any books that you have read that you would recommend to me so that I could also go out there and read these books. And thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope that you will be blessed until we meet again in my next video. Thank you.